Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Spiritual Infinity. And as you know, my name is Zenzi Sewa, and my guest today is Danielle Matthews, who's in South Florida. I'm here in London, and it seems that we're really in autumn because it's a bit overcast and raining, and Danielle's in sunny South Florida in the nice hot sun, getting a tan. Bit jealous? Never mind. Anyway, let's say welcome to our guest, Danielle, who is, and she'd like to be, well, she's a brain injury survivor. And through that, she's now a coach who's helping people spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and physically to overcome their traumas and to face their life. And Danielle's going to talk about her journey, what happened to her and how she overcome it, because a lot of us are going through things and we don't know how to handle it, what's happening, and we're scared. But as you know, my programs are about, there's a lot of us out here and we're here to speak our truth to help you along your journey. So without much ado, hello, Danielle in South Florida.
Hey, Zenzi, thanks for having me on.
Oh, thank you for wanting to come and speak. So today we're going to hear about your journey, your trauma, your pain and anxieties, and how you came and overcame them. So over to you.
Yeah, well, gosh, to kind of take you right to it, you know, I, in my 20s, when I was 23 years old, Zenzi, I got hit by a drunk driver in a car accident. Ouch. And suffered a traumatic brain injury. Yeah. And talk about just, you know, you hear these things like in movies and you think like, oh, that would never happen to me. Like, you know, life can change like that. And it truly did for me. I didn't realize it, of course, at the time. I didn't realize how bad the injury was and what had happened. But in time, it became very clear that the life that I had known was no longer really an option. I was dealing with basically extreme sensitivities. Like I could not handle light. So even like natural light, it felt like somebody was shining a flashlight direct in my eye. I couldn't handle noise. It all sort of came in at the same volume. So I heard the air conditioner and the fan and, you know, knives and forks all at the same level. It was like this cacophony. And it was overwhelming. I couldn't concentrate for more than 10 minutes. I was having migraines like you wouldn't believe. I mean, my head just felt like it was pounding and there was a vice grip. And I was basically in my bedroom with blackout fabric. Not able to do much of anything. And I had been a teacher at the time. So I was teaching 6th grade math and it happened to be like our summer break, you know, so it was okay. I was able to kind of rest for a month and then it was time to go back to school. And it's interesting with a brain injury, you don't realize how bad it is because it's your brain. So that ability to sort of like step outside and witness what's going on just like wasn't there for me. So I attempted to go back to work and it became very clear very quickly, like that was a non-starter. I was taking like 12 hours to do a lesson plan because I just want a nap. I mean, it was awful. And eventually, you know, I went on sick leave and then I tried to come back again. It was very clear that wasn't going to happen. And so slowly I started to see like this life I had built for myself start to kind of like slip through my fingers. And I had been a big snowboarder. I'd snowboarded on my college team and all my friends had moved out. I was teaching in Colorado. We'd all moved out there and, you know, they kind of saw it before I did. They were like, Danny, I don't think you should be in on the house this year in the mountains. Like, you know, if you can snowboard, like maybe we'll just let you come up. And because they saw how bad it was, but I was like in denial, you know, that life was changing that rapidly. And, you know, I lost my job because I couldn't work after that and lost my income, which meant I had to move back in with my parents. And it was the start of a journey that changed everything. You know, for me, it first started with the physical stuff because just day to day was, I mean, terrible. And then my doctors told me at my year appointment that this was my new normal and that with my brain injury, my body had done the healing that it would do. And I needed to adjust my life to this. And then I was 24 and I just thought, you're fired.
At 24 years old. Oh my God. That should be your starting point, the spark going out.
Exactly. Oh. And I just thought there's no way this can be my life. But it was interesting. You know, I think life has a way sometimes of, I call it transformational pressure. Now I can see it for what it was, but it's like it boxed me in. It was like, look, You can't go up, down, like you can't go anywhere. You are stuck with this head injury. You're now being told it's permanent, even though inside of me, some voice was saying, this is not, you'll get through this. But it was like, okay, what do I do? And it was really interesting because it was like, that's what awakened me to a very simple fact that changed everything, which was realizing like, I'm not my thoughts and I don't have to pay attention to them. And the reason this was life-changing for me was because at that point, Zenzi, I was having panic attacks, severe anxiety, depression. I mean, I was watching, you know, my friends going on and continuing their life. I'm in my early 20s. Like people are going to grad school and, you know, they're doing all this stuff. And I was stuck on the sidelines and I was being told like, you may never be able to get back in the game. And so it was like, well, what future do I have? Plus every day, like, you know, I never knew how I'd feel 10 minutes from now. So I couldn't do anything, couldn't go out, I couldn't look at screens. So think about all the things you do to distract yourself, you know, when we have like stuff we don't want to face. I couldn't do any of those things. Couldn't listen to music, couldn't, you know, couldn't watch TV, couldn't get on the computer, couldn't do anything. I was alone with myself in my own head. And so this realization that I did not have to listen to my thoughts, that there was actually something like a space beyond them that I could access. There was like a quiet internal thing that was there behind all the noise. That was life-changing for me.
Can I just go back a bit and just to highlight, you couldn't watch TV, you couldn't listen to music. And was that because the noise was just too much?
It's exactly what it was. It was so overwhelming. Like, yeah.
Everything in air, everything was just at the same level.
Yeah.
That was crashing in on you all the time.
Yes. It was crushing. I mean, it was, and my personality, like I wasn't nice to people because it was like everything felt so much. And so then when someone tried to talk to me or if they wouldn't understand what I was saying, like I would kind of snap at them because I'm like, you're hurting me, you know, to do this, or like having lights on. I'm like, can you please turn off the lights? Like it's bothering me. And it's so wild because with brain injury, I looked like this. I looked absolutely fine.
Yeah.
And so people would always say to me, well, you look okay. You look fine. And I'm like, I'm not fine. I wish I had like a big, you know, like something that you could see inside my brain. Like it's not okay. Something is very much wrong with the way that I'm processing things. And, yeah, you know, eventually my parents could see it because they could see it in my eyes. Like they'd be able to look at my eyes and go, oh, you're having a hard day. Because they would get like cloudy, you know, when you really know somebody, you're like, whoa, something's not right here.
Yeah. It shows through your eyes. Yes.
It does.
The eyes are the mirrors of your soul. Yeah, it shows through your eyes.
Yeah. Mine were clouded. So it was, you know, it was really for me kind of, I hate to sound like drastic or dramatic, but it was really like life or death for me because my mind was telling me this life is not going to be worth living, Danielle. There's no reason to stay on this planet, Danielle. Like, how can you imagine living this way for the rest of your life? Like you're stuck and there's no reason to go forward. Like that's what my mind was saying to me. And thank goodness my love for my family was so strong. I'm like, I can't do that to my family, right? So I'm going to stay here. And so I just thought, all right, if there's new rules on the game of life, right? Like I can't watch TV, I can't listen to music, I can't do all the things I used to do. I just stopped and I said, well, what can I do? And again, with the thoughts, how can I stop these thoughts that are like really intrusive and not helpful, that are causing me, you know, to be more depressed and more anxious? And it's like, they're creating more problems. My internal dialogue is creating more problems. Yes. And I thought, all right, well, I can at least control that dialogue. You know, I can at least control my own emotions and my own thoughts. And I started to just moment by moment, I would just ask the question like, okay, what would bring happiness now? You know, what could I do right now that would make me happy, that would bring me joy? And really it came down to very simple things like eating something that tasted good, you know, starting to like cook and experiment with food because I could do that. I started to take my dog on a walk and I like volunteered at a local shelter so I could take the dogs on a walk. And I spent a bunch of time with my grandparents because they didn't mind sitting in a dark room, you know, and just quietly talking, which was like the one thing I could do. So, it was just like a beautiful opening. And all of a sudden there was a switch inside of me and I was happy. Nothing externally had changed. I still had all the same symptoms. I was still miserable with physically, But internally, I found happiness. It was like I found the switch, and I realized like there's really, now I see it as like a simple equation. It's like you've got the external world, and then you have your internal response to it. And that's what makes your reality. And I think that I felt like a victim for so long because of what the external world had quote unquote done to me. And everyone sort of validated that. Well, you were a victim. You got hit by a drunk driver. This wasn't fair. You didn't deserve it, right? All of these things that I think people felt were well-meaning to say. And I mean, sure, they were valid, but it wasn't helpful. It actually kept me in like, so I can do nothing. Like when you're a victim, it's like, well, there's nothing I can do. I have no control over the situation. But the reality is, and I see this in everything, we all have an internal choice, and we can choose how we want to be with something, and that will shift our reality, how we experience reality. When I changed how I was with and about my injury, everything shifted.
Yes. I'm going to stop you there because you said something that many people have said time and time again when they're talking about us as human beings and being victims and the way we think and our mindset. We have a choice, and it is down to us. We just have to be strong enough to make those choices. And when you say it's how you look at the situation you're in and how you can turn that, how can I use that so that I'm comfortable with it rather than being sad or angry or annoyed. That is so, so, so important with everything.
Yeah.
You know, with a relationship or anything, we become annoyed with it. But sometimes we have to look at it when we can't do anything about it. But how we react to it, that's we need to control. And you're so right, Danielle. Oh
yeah.
my, thank you for saying that. That's so important.
It is. And it doesn't mean like you condone it or you approve of it. Like I wasn't saying like, oh, it's okay that I got hit by a drunk driver, but it was just like, here's the reality that's in my face, you know, and I can resist it and like say it's not fair, but I'm just hitting my head up against the wall of reality, and it's not
Embrace
changing,
it.
you know,
it and deal with it.
Exactly. And that's where I think, you know, life is always leading us. And I believe it's like, I feel like my soul chose to like put an obstacle course in place, like very early on in this life for me, because I needed to awaken to the fact that there is more, and I came here for more, and there's a deeper purpose to all of this. And until life like breaks you, you know, it causes you to be boxed in. There's so much pressure that you're like, the only option I have is an internal transformation, like an internal shift, because you can't do anything on the external side. Like we can't control it. We can't change it. That was the situation I found myself in. And so many people find themselves in, but like different scenarios, right? My scenario was drunk driver, car accident. But there's so many scenarios that are creating this pressure. And if you allow it, it is truly transformational pressure. It's the thing that's going to allow you to go internal and realize the wellspring of potential that is in there, and everything that you have like and have ever needed is inside of you. You know, it like it shows you that like you keep looking external for the answers and the solution and someone to save you. And no, it's like it's internal, and it's your higher self trying to say, hey, I'm in here. Pay attention.
Thank you for saying that. It is all internal, that inner, that higher self that we keep on saying that's in everybody. It's there waiting for us to connect with it. And everything is within us. And once we connect with it, then we can ask the right questions to get the solutions for the life we want to live.
That's precisely it. Yes.
I love you. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's everything. And it's so interesting because it was like, for me, it was almost like, okay, you passed the test, like you learned the lesson. And so what happened was I made this internal shift. And then in the external world, we got a phone call from an acupuncturist about a health science breakthrough called redox signaling that basically like puts more signal in your system so your body can identify damaged cells. And she said, every single patient is having results. It will pass the blood-brain barrier. I believe this can help Danielle. And so all of a sudden, the answer to the physical challenges came in. And I get goosebumps talking about it because it's like, you know, the answers are always there, but it's like we have to get to the point where we can see them. We have to shift our conscious level of awareness. We have to shift internally to then like resonate, be at that frequency where we can get what's next. Right. It's like I just see stairs, you know, it's like we're just constantly climbing, learning more and more, discovering more and more, like unveiling more and more. And so, yeah, this is a product, it's a liquid you drink. I started to drink that. There was some internal resistance I had. It's interesting. Like my ego was very, I had a degree in biology. Yeah, imagine that ego getting eaten away. But I had a degree in biology. And so I was like, well, show me the research and like, show me all the stuff. You know, it took like 6 months before I actually realized like the answer is sitting here on a silver platter, like pay attention. And yeah, so I started using that, got my health back. Within about 3 months, the pounding that had been relentless for 2 years stopped. And so I stayed on it. My energy came back, personality came back. I could concentrate again. I could get the words out I wanted to. And it took time for the light and noise sensitivity, like maybe another year for the light and like 2 years for the noise. But we're talking progress that I had been told by traditional doctors was impossible, would never happen. And here I was like very clearly you know, getting my health restored. And let
me just stop you there again. This solution that you found, it wasn't through the normal medical channels.
No, this was an acupuncturist that had come across it. And it's interesting, sort of like the backstory on this, if you want a little bit, it's kind of fascinating. So it was a biotech company that had been able to stabilize these molecules. They're like the molecules that you're making them right now, I make them, but as we get older, we make less, or if we have a lot of injury, it's kind of like having one bar of service on your cell phone. Like you're trying to call for help, but there's no signal.
No.
And so if you can put more bars on the cell phone, you can get more signal, all of a sudden the body can figure out what's going on. I just needed more signal. So anyway, this company had figured out how to stabilize the molecules, but they were only stable for like 10 minutes. And they kind of ran out of money going through drug trials. And someone bought the intellectual property to this, patents, got a team of scientists together, got it stable longer, and went to flip it and sell it to a pharmaceutical company. Well, the pharma company said, basically, we want this. We don't want you talking to anybody else, but you need to shut down your beta test group and shut down production. And
that's typical.
Yep. And so thank goodness the gentleman in charge, his name was Vertus Norton. He actually just passed away this year, but he had the foresight. He was like, I think 69, you know, he was retired, like could have sailed off into the sunset, but he just said, this is something that humanity deserves to have. And I'm going to figure out another way to get it to market. Yeah.
Thank you to that man.
Yeah.
Because there are so many things around that we can use, but Big Pharma doesn't want us to know because they want us to keep on popping pills and they're making money.
Exactly. They just want to keep you just well enough that you can keep getting your prescriptions, not actually getting at the root of the issue.
That's right. Oh my gosh. Thank you to that man.
Yeah, I know. And it's wild because what he then chose, because he realized like people don't have context for this. It's not going to sell if I put it on a store shelf. So he chose word of mouth marketing, like network marketing, which I think has like a bad rap in a lot of places. I don't know how it is over there in London, but that's what happened. And so it was like sort of like grassroots, like one person telling another. And there was like probably 15 people that had to be open, say yes, share the message to get it to this acupuncturist that then called my mom, you know, because she knew what was going on with me. And she said, well, like, this can't hurt and it might help. Like, we have nothing to lose. Like, get Danielle to drink it.
Exactly.
And changed my world. So forever grateful.
Thank you. So once you were on this, and as you said, it took a couple of years for everything to settle, from that sound, from the noise, from the light, and it took you about 2 or 3 years of constantly just using this method to get you to where you're going. So where are you along the way with that now?
Well, now I feel like I'm better than I was before my accident. I've got better energy. My immune system's super strong. But through all of this, right, I was having like a spiritual awakening, because now that I was getting my health back, it was like, okay, I'm allowed to step into the arena again. Like I can go back into life. And I just realized like, I'm not the same person. I am looking at things completely differently. I was watching people trapped in these patterns and like their old belief systems and like staying stuck in this place. Like it was wild. It was like I was looking at, how to describe it? You know, the Matrix. It felt like I had woken up and I'm looking back and I'm like, I don't belong here and you all need to wake up. You know, like, what are you doing?
I know feeling.
Yeah. And it was wild. And it's interesting because during this time because I couldn't work, right? But there was a woman who was writing a book on yoga nidra. It's like guided meditation. And she needed help citing research, like what the Western world was saying about it. And since I had a degree in biology, I was like, oh, I can do that. And it was a year-long project. So I did it like 20 minutes a day. And at the end of that, she said, hey, I would love to gift you a certification. Why don't you come and get certified so you can deliver this practice to people? Like you can give it to other people that have brain injury, because all you do is lay down in a dark room and you listen. And I thought, okay, that's a good idea. So I went, and little did I know, I was walking onto the grounds of an ashram. I didn't know what an ashram was. And this woman, her name is Kamini Desai. She says to me, Danielle, do you want to meet my father? And I thought, that's an odd question, but sure. You know, like, why not? And it turns out her father is Amrit Desai. He had founded Kripalu Institute back, decades ago, one of the largest ashrams in the United States in the Northeast. He had left there and he had founded the Amrit Yoga Institute, which is where I had found myself walking into. And I met him. I was blown away. Didn't really know what to do. I've never met someone, you know, a living guru who had come from India to bring these teachings. And I sat down in our first lesson and I thought I was there to learn how to guide someone in meditation. Well, I will never forget. The very first thing out of her mouth was, the yogis spent their lives asking a simple question, which is, if there is a single truth that, if known, solves everything, what would that truth be? And they set about trying to find that truth. And what they landed on is the realization that you are not your thoughts. If you understand that truth, it sets you free for everything. And I sat there and I was like, wait a second. That is exactly what I just had to learn. Yeah. And so I sat straight up and I was like, well, what else did these yogis figure out, you know? And it was just incredible. We talked about philosophy, the body-mind connection. I then understood like why meditation, this yoga nidra, was designed. Like it was a tool to help you access the space beyond your thoughts and to open up this channel, you know, into the divine. And once you understand like what a tool is designed for, you can actually use it properly. Like you could use a hammer as a doorstop, but if you realize like, wow, it really gets those nails in efficiently, all of a sudden open up so much. So yeah, I started to do yoga nidra like twice a day. I started to just shed so much, to be able to access so much, release so much. And then I kept coming back. I was assisting in programs, and then I started to study yoga therapy, which blew me away. My first experience with that was incredible. Basically, the idea that, you know, we when we have traumas, which obviously I'd gone through a big trauma, our nervous system and our body just like it shuts it down, because it's like, hey, this is too much. I can't handle this. But energy is not created or destroyed. And so that event just circulates in the system. And the way that the yogis talk about it is they say it forms a grunty, which is an energy knot. And if you don't eventually let that thing disperse and come out, it will solidify. And it will literally, you will find it physically in your body, or it will set the stage and you'll have disease pop up, or just disease.
Disease.
Exactly. And so my first yoga therapy session, it was unreal what happened, Zenzi. Like you know, people say like we're spiritual beings having a human experience. It's one thing to say it. It's another thing to have the experience of it. Like so we went into my body to feel where some of this trapped energy was. And for me, it was in my hip. So my lower left back, like it would like sort of like kind of spaz at night. It always like felt tense. Like I couldn't really move my hips. And it was just like, I would, you know, I'd do everything I could, stretch it, whatever. Nothing ever touched it. So we went there in my yoga therapy session, and it was the visuals that came through, the knowing that came through. It was like this energy was sitting there waiting. It's like, I've been yelling at you to pay attention. And now you're finally listening to me. And it was like I gave it permission to leave. And it moved through my body. Energy took over my system for like 45 minutes. I was not moving my body, but my body was moving because this energy was unwinding and releasing. And it was after that, I experienced the most blissful state, just complete calm. And I looked at my teacher, Kamini, and I said, this is soul level healing. This is something the world needs. And she just smiled at me and she said, I know. It's why it's been my life's work. And ever since then, I've just been sharing, doing privates with people, trying to help other people become aware of this. And I'm really about like knowledge and experience. So I want people to understand at the level of the mind, the why behind things, but then to experience it. Because once you have an experience, you can't unknow.
This is it. Once you know, you cannot unknow, you cannot undo. It's there. You feel it, and you have to go forward with it.
Yes. Yeah. And it's been interesting, like integrating, because after that experience, again, like so many of my experiences in life, you're like, how do I, now that I know beyond a shadow of a doubt, like there is a healing power within me that is beyond anything of this world. Like, how do I go back into this world? I just like it. Yeah, that like integration back into life. And it's wild. And what I've learned is that there's people like yourself, like there's a whole just large community of people that also have these realizations and are living from just a different space of conscious awareness that we can all learn from one another. Like by no means do I have it all figured out, but it's like through what I've learned, I now like I'm able to handle like my level of confidence, self-awareness, like I feel so much more comfortable in my body. It's like there is a level of peace and calm throughout me that is because of these techniques and because of this knowledge. And I'm like, I'm watching this world where people are filled with just things stimulating the mind, overstimulating the mind, all this negativity. And I'm like watching it just ruin people. And I'm going, hey, over here, like come this way. We got some solutions.
This is the way. This way, not that way, this way. Listen to the inner self and it's going, yes, yes.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, Danielle. Oh, I'm sitting down thinking, and the world needs to hear this, that there is a way that all of us, and I mean all of us, not just some of us, all of us has this inside of us, but it's the knowledge that we lack to know how to use it, how to take that and in our quiet self, use it to let go of the anxiety, because everything within our body, and I learned this as a Tao hand healer, that everything is energy. It's either too much or too little, and it's to rebalance.
Yes.
Sickness, everything is rebalancing energy.
Yes. Yeah. It is wild. Like once you understand, it's like, because I studied biology, right? I understood the physical body like really well. And I would say, you know, our doctors understand the body really well, but they don't understand the energy body. They don't even talk about the energy body. And I'm like, that's everything.
Thank you.
You know? And it's like now, like people, it sounds like what you do. It's like we all have, there's so many modalities out there and different cultures, ancient philosophies, even current things like breath work. I love that I'm seeing that coming out more and more. It's like all of these are getting at the same core. Like there's so many ways into this. All of our paths are a little bit different. The modalities are a little different, but they're getting to the same essence, same truth. Yeah. And it's like,
go ahead. Sorry.
No, you go.
Yeah, because I always say to people, look, it's like food. You know, one type of food may help this person, but this type may not. But that type may help another person simply because of the balance of our body. Yeah. So when we understand the balance of our body, because we're we're all, for want of a better word, suffering from different things. Our bodies are in balance, so we need different things to rebalance it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like saying you don't treat a cat the same way you would treat a bird, but
Right.
they're all animals. And you wouldn't treat a human being the way you treat a fish, but it's all a living thing needing to heal. Understand it, understand the imbalance, then you understand what to use. And there are so many, as you say, so many different things now out there that we can use. If one doesn't work, try the other. If that doesn't, it's because of what's happening to us individually.
Yeah.
Oh, I love you, Danielle. Keep speaking. Keep speaking.
Well, I know. There's so much. I don't even know. It's like I want to tell everybody everything I know, but it's like wherever you are, whatever resonates, like move toward it. And if you see people that have been able to, like, you're like, how are they happy all the time? Like, how is they're like glowing? Like, it's because they've realized this truth. Ask them how they got there. You know, I tell everybody, it's like, for me, it first started with Yoga Nidra. Yoga Nidra, just simply like you lay down, you listen to guidance, and it teaches you how to, through body awareness, like getting tension out of the body, then doing some breath work, then, you know, energetically visualizing things throughout the body. It's like, it was designed by these yogis to be like a springboard to get you into the meditative state.
Yes.
And when you're in that meditative state, some people say like, well, I think I fell asleep. I'm like, you didn't fall asleep. You just lost your sense of self. And the only other time we lose our sense of self is when we fall asleep. The I is gone. But in meditation, you get there as well. And so much is done in the non-doing. I mean, I don't know about you, but it's like my previous life, like pre-accident, I was like, go, 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 make it happen, like high performer, top athlete, top in my class. Like I was that. And so I thought with healing, it was the same way. You got to push, 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 go, go, go. And I came to realize through meditation that it's like when you stop, when you let the mind step aside, the energy body, this innate divine intelligence that lives in all of us, finally has permission to sort of be out from underneath the mind, because energy follows attention. So if you say, look that way, your energy is going to go that way. But if you set the mind aside, the energy is now freed up, and the energy can carry out healing from within. I mean, this is your parasympathetic nervous system. If we're talking about it kind of in Western terminology, it's like, this is the rest, digest, store. The same energy that you use to think and stress out about tomorrow is the same energy digesting your food. And so if you're continually burning energy in your mind, like, no wonder you're having digestion problems. No wonder, you know, your body is falling apart. It's because you don't have enough energy left for it. So in meditation, you free that energy up. Profound healing happens in this non-doing. I mean, it's like in 45 minutes, it's like getting 3 hours of sleep. Like it's just, it just ramps everything up. And I think in our society, it is like, it is go, 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 do, do, do. We do not balance it out with being. We even, you know, even if we think like watching Netflix or like scrolling social media or these things that are like downtime for so many people, I'm like, you are stimulating your mind. You are burning energy. It's not downtime.
No, you're burning energy. You need to replenish your energy, because it's your energy that makes everything work properly.
Exactly.
And when your energy is not balanced or depleted, we become sick and we start doing funny things and nonsense. As Danielle noticed, when she had the head injury, blur, you know, and of course you had now to find that tool, which is to control the energy system, to control the mishaps in the brain.
Exactly. Yeah, it was like, I feel like I got the keys to life, and now I just want to give everybody else the keys. I'm like, come on, this is great.
Because what happened to you showed that here is the physical side just gone out the window and in pain, and it was the energy that brought it back. I mean, you can't get it any louder than that. It was the energy that brought it back into place. And this, so many people are saying, especially with the yogas and everything, it's the energy that rebalances the physical, which makes it then perform in the proper way and peacefully and in the right way.
Exactly. It's so interesting. I think because like yogic philosophy has been around for thousands of years, but it's like at least in the US, I don't know how it is over there by you, but like yoga, most people think of like stretching poses, like workout.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it is the exact opposite. Like the poses, you're supposed to use the poses to help feel where frozen energy is, so that you can then go into that energy and help it move. Like it's an energetic practice. But it's like the West has stripped that out of it and made
Yes.
it such a like ego driven, like, I can move my
Yes.
body in this way. Look how flexible I am. And I'm like, oh my gosh, oh, it's so frustrating. And I just want people to realize like the power that's in there, that's truly there behind it all. And like, with yoga therapy, you use a yoga pose to find, again, like this tension. We call it the edge. Like, if I were to put your finger back, like right when you start to feel tension, like that's an edge. And so when you get into poses, you'll feel an edge in your body. That's your body talking to you. Like your body can only talk through sensation. And so if you start to learn the language of your body, it's always trying to get our attention. And if we don't listen, it will get to the point where it's screaming, where you have to pay attention. I mean, this is what happens when most people get older. Like the body is like, hey, you can't keep pushing me, pay attention. But if you learn to do this earlier, right, you can probably set yourself better for later years. But if you learn to listen to the body, it's constantly telling you what you need. And what has blown me away is like, it's right there waiting. We just never quiet our mind down enough to actually ask and say, what is this? Like, it might be fear living there. It might be anger living there. It might be something from your childhood that you don't even remember, that just got stuck in the system and has been wanting to go, but you've had a block up. And the moment you just listen to it, it's like a little kid crying. If a little kid is crying, we don't tell it to go away or tell it to get over it. Like we just hold it, we hold it and then the tears pass and then everything's fine. It's the same. It's the same concept. You just go, oh, what is that? Oh, what is that fear? Let the fear be there and it just passes through. It's so profound and so simple.
I know. And I like the energy you just said about it's like a child. When the child comes crying to you, you don't push the child away. You hold that child, you comfort that child until that child stops crying. Then you say, what's the matter? What's wrong? And then you listen.
Yes, exactly.
You listen. And it will talk to you, because I know my body talks to me. Sometimes I don't want to listen. And then somebody expects me to say, listen, because we do it. Although we don't know. I'm sure you find yourself sometimes, even with all the knowledge you've got, that sometimes you forget, oh, this is what I'm supposed to do.
Sure. Yeah, none of us it's like, my teacher who's in his 90s now, Kamini's father, he says all the time, he says, I teach this stuff to remind myself of this stuff, because the ego mind is so tricky and it comes back in and it's so programmed. And, thank goodness we have it because it helps us with a lot of things, but it also just has some unfortunate programming that causes problems and it slips right back in there, And so it's like, you've got to plug yourself into a community or a practice or something beyond yourself, because the ego it gets in the back door. I mean, it is a sneaky thing.
It doesn't want to let go.
Yeah.
It's very sneaky. It doesn't want to let go. And it will stay quiet, waiting for the moment, just slip in there.
And it just pounces.
You do. And you're so right. And I'm glad you said that. And I say that to everybody, not because we talk about this, not because you'll talk what you're going through, and I have other people coming on. We're talking all what we're going through, but we are always learning. We never stop learning. We don't have the answers. We realize, this is what we've got to do. But it's a never ending process. And it's a process where we have to keep on reminding ourselves and changing and keeping our minds open and listening and having to tweak things. And sometimes we do something and then we find, okay, that's fine. And then maybe something else may come in that's a little bit more attuned to us, because we're changing. But always listen for our higher self to grow. We're
Yeah.
always flowing. And it is true. Well, you know what they say, the man of wisdom always listens. He's always listening and always open to the knowledge. But the stupid man thinks he knows it all. So he's static and he becomes stale and he becomes rigid. But the man of wisdom is always flowing because he's always looking at that knowledge, and where he needs to change and tweak, he will change and tweak, and he keeps on flowing and keeps on opening, because knowledge, we're at this level, but next time we've got to rise to this level and then this level. So there's different knowledge coming in, as you had to do, because it took you years, bit by bit. And even now.
Oh, it totally did. I know. It's like the more that I learn too, the more I realize I just don't know. And it makes me more and more and more open, because I'm just like, okay, I'm seeing things way more clearly now, but also like I was deceived by so much. And so now I just try to stay present, you know, and I use every situation too, because the ego is so tricky. I watch my internal reactions to stuff and I just get very curious about them. Yes. Because typically, you know, it's old thought patterns, old stuff. And it's like life is constantly giving me the situations to reveal those patterns in me. And so I'm always grateful for whatever's happening in life, because it allows me to look internally and go, okay, like, why did I just get angry? Like, why did I just feel like, you know, people don't love me? Or why did I just feel not heard? Or why am I questioning my own worth here? It's like every situation is drawing us out. And so many of us, it feels like those reactions feel so real. We blame external, we point external, we say, well, you did this and you made me feel this way. And it's like, hang on, that feeling came from inside of you. They just revealed it. Like it's been living. So it's like, okay, let me take ownership of that, and let me figure out where that's stemming from and how can I clear it. And until you have the practices, you know, like for me, it's the yoga nidra, it's the yoga therapy. It's this, you shine the light of awareness on it and the stuff starts to clear out, and it's profound. It will shift everything. Now I love meeting new people. I love new situations, because I'm like, they're always revealing the things that are unhealed and unfinished inside of me. And it's like, I just keep looking.
That's it. And that's how you've got to look at it. Danielle, it's been lovely. But before we say goodbye to you, tell us what you're doing now, how people can connect with you, what you're doing, and share it with us. Have you written books? Are you doing courses? Come on, share.
I've got a few things going on. So I have a YouTube channel where I talk all about the redox, because I feel like on the physical level, that helped me so much and it can help so many people. So that's a ASEA Redox Biohack. Great channel, lots of information there about the physical side. And then I'm starting a brand new channel actually this week called Heal with Danielle, where I'm going to be giving and guiding through the practices of yoga nidra and yoga therapy so that people can do it. And I offer privates and courses as well. So there's a lot, mastery.brainbodyself.com. Or if you just go to brainbodyself.com, you'll see everything and you can get to the Mastery platform. But I offer a course called Inner Management Mastery. And probably the easiest kind of entry point is my Inner Reset series. It's 3 privates with me. I give some of the philosophy as well as a personalized yoga nidra, 2 personalized yoga therapy sessions. You will be lighter, freer, happier. It's amazing. I love doing it. And like crazy reasonable price too.
Great. So everybody, you've heard all that. So when I do put this, for those who are listening, when I do put this out in the read up, you will get all that. If you haven't written it down, it will be there so that you can connect with Danielle. And please do, because we all have this inside of us. And I know Big Pharma wants us to pop pills. It just keeps us at this level for us to keep on popping pills. And the more pills you pop, it's more money in their pocket. And if we stop popping pills, they won't make no money. But we get better. They don't want that. So with all my guests, we're all talking about this. Everything is within us. So be brave, be strong, be present, keep on keeping your mind open, keep on listening. Don't block yourself from anything, because the knowledge is out there for you to use. Remember what I said, we're all different strokes for different folks, but it's all there for us to use for the better.
Yes.
So, Danielle, is there a little gold nugget you can leave us with before we say goodbye?
I would just always have this question kind of circulating in you, which is, what is this challenge making possible? Anytime you feel like life is boxing you in, there's so much pressure in your world, it's the opportunity for that transformational pressure we were talking about, but you've got to change the lens, the perspective. And so I always just ask, what is this challenge making possible? And then I start to see things in a totally different light.
Right. Danielle, thank you so much for that. And for me, to Zenzi in London, thank you all for joining us. I hope you enjoyed this series. And until the next one, bye for now. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.